only got like 4 slides, and I'm not getting in trouble because 2 of them are the same. So just a heads up, that's how technically savvy I am. If I can do this, guys, you can. But I'm going to talk to you, let me set my timer here too. So I'm going to talk to you about living a life of significance through being a Beachbody coach. And there may, somebody fix the timer? Yeah, there may be some stuff that you get out of that, out of writing, that you might want to write down. But as I'm seeing everybody write down all this stuff that everybody else is talking about, I'm like, mine is more on an emotional level. So the 2 things that I'm going to tell you about, that I would tell you to write down, is 1, don't ever say no for somebody, okay? Because I tell you, I've made that mistake. When I look at somebody, I make that decision, you know what, this is probably something that they're not going to be interested in. And then they sign up with somebody else. Or, I accidentally mention it, or they see something I post on Facebook and they come to me and they say, hey, I want in. And I was like, why didn't I say something to you a year ago? The other thing is that any of you can do this. I mean, really, if I can do this, and I can't even make a slideshow with 4 slides in it, right? And then you guys can do it. It's just a matter of choosing to succeed. In this business, there are 2 things that you do. You either succeed or you quit. Those are the 2 things that you're going to do as a coach. You're going to succeed and start making your goals, or you're going to quit. Now, living a life of significance through Beachbody. When I was a kid, when I was growing up, I knew I was going to be a cop or a firefighter or a paramedic. I wanted to help people. That's what drove me. That's what I was excited about. And as I started getting a little older, I was like, well, there's not a whole lot of fires. Those guys are probably not going to do a whole lot except sleep. And paramedics have to do nasty stuff. As a cop, I get to drive fast and jump fences and thump heads and do all sorts of fun stuff, right? So that's what I went to do. And I did a lot of great stuff. I was a SWAT cop for 15 years and did a lot of amazing things. There are people alive today because I saved their lives, and there's people alive today because I didn't kill them when they needed it. I'm going to tell you that. But that's a significant thing. And I'm very proud of both sides of that. But the thing is, I think that in the 4 years that I've been a Beachbody coach, I've done so much more for people who were willing and wanted my help than 17 years as a cop. Because as a cop, I was going to the same house over and over. Yeah, wow, really? They stole your stuff again? That's because all your friends are crackheads. Get some new friends. Same people. What we talk about is work with the willing, right? That's what we do, right? So the people that I'm reaching out to and the people that I'm helping, they want my help, right? And so that moves things forward. And then you talk about, Carl, I love Carl, but he was saying like all my stuff. I was like, man, Carl, I had to change some of my stuff, right? But because living a life of significance, you guys, everybody in here has the chance to make an immeasurable difference in somebody else's life. 9 years, Carl said. I didn't know the numbers. I knew that, fit people live longer than people who weren't fit, but 9 years, okay, is how much longer somebody's going to live if they're in better shape. Okay, so let's fast forward to a grandfather, right? Because I'll tell you, let me sidetrack just a second. I don't know either one of my grandfathers, or I never did. Both of them, I'm 42. Neither one of my grandfathers made it to 44, right? My dad is 68. Trekking across America, they're going to meet us here. We're going to go hang out in Zion for a few days after this with some of my friends. But he lives right around the corner from me, and he is so present in my kids' lives. And so for somebody who had no memory of my grandfathers, that's so cool to me. Because one of the things about my dad was, he's like, he calls me one time and he's like, hey, how do I post something on Facebook? He's like, because he's on Facebook to just look at pictures of my kids, right? And I was like, what do you mean how to post something? He goes, I want other people to see what I write. So I told him, right, he's getting tech help from me. But I was like, what are you going to write? He's like, man, I've been doing that shake you've been talking about forever for like 3 months, and my doctor's taking me off my blood pressure and my cholesterol medicine. And I was like, holy cow, right? My dad's in good health. My dad's in good health already, and 60-something, I don't know how old my dad is, sorry, but he's somewhere between 60 and 70. But there's a small chance, right? It's not a small chance, it's a reality that because one day I was watching an infomercial at 2 o'clock in the morning and decided, wow, you know what? As a SWAT team leader, I should probably be in decent shape, and ordered something and lost 60-something pounds, and people started talking to me, and I started talking to people, and here comes this giant ripple effect, right? My dad isn't on his blood pressure and cholesterol medicine anymore, and I embraced in personal development. There's people, Dennis Fowler is one of my rock star coaches, and I trained him as a cop, and it's funny, we're talking at dinner one time, because we hang out all the time, and I said, man, I really didn't like you. You're a training officer, and neither did my wife either, because I went home and I was all angry because I spent a day in the car with you, and I was like, what? But the thing is, because of Beachbody and because of being a coach, like somebody was saying earlier, I don't know who else was stealing my lines, but I think it was Monica, I'm a better coach, I'm a better neighbor, I'm a better father, I'm a better spouse, I'm a better everything because I embraced in personal development, because I said, you know what, I'm going to do this, and the world changed. My world changed. If you're the same person a year from now as you are right now, then your business is not going to move forward. Because you have to change yourself. You have to make changes in yourself, because you have to do those things. If you want to live differently than you are now, then you have to be a different person. And when you do that, that ripple effect goes out, right? For my team now, my team that it started out, it was just like me, I get on and I look on and it's like, you got 2 new coaches in your organization. It's like, God, I signed them both. And it was like that way forever. It's just me, but that's okay, because you can do that. Anybody can do this. Whether or not you succeed in this business is completely up to you. But there are people on my team now that have gone full time. Rhonda just went full time. Heather just went full time. Dennis and Julie are both full time. Am I forgetting anybody? Is that everybody that's gone full time so far? Right. So those people are now spending time with their kids. They wake up with their kids, they go to bed with their kids, and if they spend any time away from their kids, it's by choice. And so that kid is growing up with a better parent, right? Not necessarily a better parent, but a more present parent. Because of Beachbody, because I ordered something off an infomercial at 2 o'clock in the morning, I get to play a little part in that, right? And that's huge, because this kid, Reese, or these other kids, Jackson, I can't name everybody's kids right now, but all these kids, they're going to have their parents around, and they're going to grow up, and they're going to be better parents because their parents were around. And that's going to continue long and long and long after everybody in this room is gone, right? We're Beachbody coaches that a lot of us signed up off of an infomercial, right? Or just to get a discount. But the impact that we can have on somebody's life, on this world, is insurmountable. And you don't have to be a rock star coach. These people that were lined up here, I guarantee you that those ripples will be felt for generations to come, right? But you don't have to be that person. There are people here who they've only signed up, or their coach maybe only signed up 1 or 2 people, right? And then that person said, blam, and took off. And that's the person that changed the world. But if that person wasn't talked to by the other person, then it never happened. It never happened. You may only sell 1 challenge pack, but that person may lose 150 pounds and then be at a graduation that they would have been dead 10 years earlier. And so that person is going to be like, or that child is going to have memories of their grandparent or their whatever family member at their graduation because you said, hey, you know what? You should check out combat. You should check out whatever, right? You are doing people a favor. When you talk to them about that, that's one of the other things. There was 2, and I forgot the first one. But so now I'm coming back to it. It's all a big full circle thing, right? But so you are doing people a favor. Is there anybody here that says, man, I really wish I didn't sign up as a coach? Good, okay? So that's the thing. You're doing people a favor, and that's what you have to think in your mind. When I talk to somebody about Beachbody, whether it's the fitness or the business, I'm like, this is the most important, in my head at least. It doesn't always, I'm a passionate guy, but I don't always say this, but I do have to say, this could be the most important decision or conversation you have this decade, depending on when their kids were born or when they decided, hey, you know what, should we get divorced, should we get married, whatever, right? But along those lines, it could be so amazing because if I didn't say something to that person, then, fast forward a few years down the road, and they're not financially free. they are still 100 pounds overweight or whatever. So I'm doing you a favor. If somebody's sitting across from me and they're like, hey, tell me about this Beachbody thing, I'm like, man, you are so lucky you asked me, because I'm about to change your life if you listen to me and do what I tell you to do. It's that simple, you know. It's about being passionate and taking that. Zig Ziglar talks about give other people everything that they want, and you can have everything you want. And that's what this is about, you know, living that life of significance. You can do these things and have an amazing life, but have an impact that will be going on for generations and generations. So I'm out of time, my little timer went, but I want to, let me see if I can advance this slide 3 times, because, well, see 2 slides, that's how technical savvy I am. But see, this is me and the Reedlings, that's my kids, right? And my lovely wife Cody, and my dad there in the floppy hat. And I don't even know what